People, it is the 30th of the 3rd. Welcome to Newspaper Breakdown. We've got news as always. We're going to start with a report by the Resolution Foundation. The UK's low level of government investment has left the country in a poorer state compared to other nations. Shock, horror. With not enough hospital beds, poor transport links, and inadequate housing. Public investment in the UK has averaged 2.5% of the GDP per annum this century. That is well below the 3.7% average for industrial countries, and the UK is consistently among the weakest third in the OECD nations. So well done to us, Royal Britannia. Don't we indeed rule the waves? Low and volatile levels of investment have resulted in overwhelmed hospitals, often terrible public transport, and chronic shortages of housing. UK hospitals have fewer beds relative to countries' population sizes than all bar one OECD advanced nation, and fewer magnetic resonance imaging machines than all but four. For public transport, as an example, through poor public transport links and significant congestion, workers spend more time commuting than all but two OECD advanced countries. We really are at the bottom of the fucking pile. And we need to... I'm not 100% sure why people brag. Why the government keeps on bragging. It annoys me so much. It's as though they're bragging because they're happy that this is happening. On housing, the stock of affordable homes relative to the number of families has halved since, drumroll please, the 1980s. Thatcher time. And we've gone shit or bust since then. Madness. If the UK had kept up with the OECD average of public investment over the last 20 years, it would have been an estimated 500 billion more in today's prices. The report highlighted how the UK government's investment plans were often announced and scrapped before being implemented. It's something that you would have seen time and time again. Government minister coming out saying, I think you'll find, good sir, that we are investing this, and we're doing this, and we're doing this, and we're doing this, and we're doing this, and it's all going to be actually fantastic. And then a week later you find out that they're not doing fucking any of it. That results, the fact that it keeps on being mentioned and then scrapped before being implemented, results in volatility, and as a result, on average, the government fails to spend £1 in every £6 it plans to. So that is quite a high level, really, as a percentage of failure to do your fucking job. Austerity and political views to cut public spending when public finances are under pressure are some of the main reasons for this. I can tell that the light is very bright at the moment, but just imagine I'm an angel and you'll get over it. Next story, the UK government's new 1,000-page energy plan, unveiled Thursday morning, has already been criticised as being full of half-baked and half-hearted policies, which should be the Tory party's fucking motto. That do not go far enough to power Britain's climate goals. Britain's green sector fear that Britain will lose its leading role in climate action because of the government's business-as-usual approach to delivering green investments. Environmental groups have said that the plans risk falling short of the legally binding climate targets, which could trigger further court action, which is just a bit of fun for us. That would be nice. I mean, we don't get to go to court enough as a country often, do we? Except all of the fucking time losing, all the pissing time. We keep on breaking laws every 4 fucking seconds. The 1,000-page energy plan, announced by Grant Shapps, he of many names, includes support for carbon capture projects, nuclear energy, offshore wind farms, electrical vehicles, home heat pumps, and hydrogen power, which all sounds fucking fantastic. However, most of the plans are based on existing government commitments and lack new funding, because of course they do. What's the point? Let's just give up. After Biden's $370 billion green plan deal for the US, where Biden is practically at this point paying people to come and invest in the US, this was the UK's chance to do something dramatic. Instead, we've just shat the bed again. Well done us. Analysis by the Dutch environmental consultancy CE Delft has found that the UK is the private jet capital of Europe. Last year, a private jet set off from the UK once every 6 minutes, putting the UK ahead of the rest of Europe when it comes to extremely polluting and pointless forms of travel. The only potential more pointless and polluting form of travel after a private jet, I think at this point, is a fucking coal-powered skateboard or something. Something that only runs on burning tyres. The number of private jets taking off from the UK increased by 75% between 2021 and 2022, emitting 500,000 tonnes of CO2, which is more than any other European country. The UK boasts the busiest route, the most polluting route, and the most flights overall. Number one. According to a transport and environment study, private jets are 5 to 14 times more polluting than commercial planes per passenger, and 50 times more than trains, with previous research finding that 50% of all aviation emissions were caused by 1% of the world's population. Enjoy your recycling. That's the first thing. We should probably ban private jets at this point and potentially hunt down the 1%. I'm not saying kill them, I'm just saying hunt them down, take their keys. Maybe backhand them. No violence, but hunt them down. No violence. Against violence. Violence begets violence. No violence, but backhand them. No violence. According to sources, this is the next story. According to sources speaking to The Guardian, a new report by Colin Bloom on the relationship between faith and the state will recommend action on issues regarding from unregulated faith schools to forced marriage and religious nationalism. Recommendations like monitoring unregistered and part-time schools threaten to trigger rows with faith leaders who have previously resisted such attempts by ministers to intervene in religious affairs. That's all I'm doing on that particular story, because as it states, the actual report has not come out yet, but it will be very interesting. When it comes to religion, I think you do you, but it shouldn't be allowed in society. That's for your home, shouldn't be allowed in society, and one of the major problems with religion, of course, is that it is a cult. And we shouldn't allow people to get too hung up on cults. Of course, you do you, but it shouldn't be in politics. It shouldn't be in policy. It shouldn't be in Greg's. It shouldn't be fucking anywhere. Your own home, that's fine. You've got your buildings. They're all very pretty, but your God disgusts me. Not as much as you do, though. You pick and choosy bastards. Anyway, each to their own. We got 2 stories left. Yet another story on illegal the illegal migration bill. Vicky Tennant, who is the UK representative at the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, told MPs and peers in a joint committee on human rights that she had serious concerns about the implications of the illegal migration bill if it became law. Suggesting that it could lead to the collapse of the system of international protections for refugees. Tennant warned that the bill could have a domino effect on other countries, adding that the heart of the Refugee Convention is a framework in which states agree to cooperate with each other and share responsibility. And that's the bit there, the share responsibility bit. It may just be me and aging, but I have seen such a lack of people willing to take responsibility for things. Governments, just individual people. The lack of taking responsibility and just being a half-decent human being seems to have fallen by the wayside. I blame everyone, really. I blame humanity. I think sentience was a mistake and we should wipe out humanity and hand it over to the fucking penguins. But every time I read a new thing about this, I realise that us as people are scum. And they're going, well, no, it's only we're the ones who don't make the decisions. Actually, we're the ones. Well, we're not doing anything about it, are you? Well, actually, why are you not doing anything about it? Because I want everyone to die. That's why. That's why I'm not marching. That's why I'm not surrounded by people. Because I think you're all worthless pieces of shit that should be wiped out. That's why I'm not fucking standing there telling everyone how it should be better. I'm just there pointing it out to you all. Before the inevitable end where everyone gets wiped out and I can have an actual smile on my face before I fucking blow my own brains out. Anyway, finally, the Council of Europe's Anti-Torture Committee has said that it had identified clear patterns of physical ill treatment against people trying to cross borders all over Europe, with European countries increasingly resorting to illegal pushbacks of refugees and asylum seekers with minimum accountability, because we don't take responsibility. See how it all flows in like a tapestry made of sadness. Refugees and asylum seekers were punched, slapped, beaten with weapons by police and border control guards who removed their ID tags or badges and were subjected to pushbacks, expulsion from European states by land or sea without having their asylum claims heard. So they're not even allowed to say, listen, I deserve asylum. You get punched in the face, kicked in the bollocks, pushed in the sea, told to fuck off. Victims were also subjected to inhumane and degrading treatment, such as having bullets shot close to them, being pushed into rivers, being forced to walk barefoot or naked across a border. It's also important to remember, with the Council of Europe, the 46 members all signed up to the European Convention of Human Rights, which does go to show how utterly pointless every fucking concept that we have in this world is. Every made-up concept like human rights, justice, kindness, love, they're all made up. Morals, everything's made up. And they only work if we ourselves are willing to stand up for them. And if we're not, then they don't exist. They simply don't exist. This universe isn't there to say, there isn't actually like a fucking, there isn't like gravity and then under gravity there's a lovely layer of fucking kindness. There isn't. It doesn't exist. It's not a force on the earth. You can't pick up fucking little pebbles of love. There isn't a big old rock of human rights somewhere that we all share. There isn't a fucking bowl of morals that we all sit around the table and eat from. It's all fake. And it's only real if we ourselves actually stand up for it. That's the truth of it. Badgers have no concept of fucking judgment. Or maybe they do, that's why they stay so quiet. Who knows? Who knows? No, I mean, we know it's not true, but anyway, that's it. Bye.